In every culture on earth and throughout any history that can be called human, stories have been told. The Life of Pi is a true story of humanity, based on the best-selling novel by Yann Martel, Is a Magical Adventure. The story starts in Pondicherry, India, where Piscine Patel, named after a French swimming pool and compelled to change his name to a mathematical constant in order to staunch persistent bullying, lived in a zoo with his family. As the zoo business dries up, the Patel family decides to move to Canada, flog their animals and start a new life, hitching a ride on a huge freighter. After a shipwreck, Pi is found adrift in the Pacific Ocean on a 26-foot lifeboat with a zebra, a hyena, an orangutan, and a 450-pound Bengal tiger named Richard Parker, all fighting for survival. Soon enough, the food chain is reduced to Pi and the tiger, and as they drift across the Pacific Ocean, an uneasy truce is established. Pi's ingenuity at using the lifeboat supply kit and his determination to live are matched only by the spectacular ocean vistas through which he travels. Pi makes his way to the shore with an animal who'd prefer a large meal to a shipmate. The novel, which has sold more than 10 million copies worldwide, was rejected by at least 5 London publishing houses before being accepted by Knopf Canada, which published it in September 2001 and won the Man Booker Prize for Fiction the following year. In 2012, it was adapted into a theatrical feature film directed by Anne Lee with a screenplay by David Magee. Yann Martel is a Canadian author. Although his first language is French, Yann Martel writes in English. English is the language in which I best express the subtlety of life, but I must say that French is the language closest to my heart, and for this same reason, English gives me a sufficient distance to write. He was raised in Costa Rica, France, Mexico, attended high school in Canada. As an adult, Martel has spent time in Iran, Turkey, and India. After studying philosophy at Trent University, Ontario, Martel spent 13 months in India, visiting mosques, churches, temples, and zoos, and spent 2 years reading religious texts and castaway stories. Life of Pi, according to Yann Martel, can be summarized in 3 statements. Life is a story. You can choose your story. A story with God is the better story. A recurring theme throughout the novel seems to be believability. Pi, at the end of the book, asks the 2 investigators, if you stumble at mere believability, what are you living for? Martel said, I was sort of looking for a story, not only with a small s, but sort of with a capital S, something that would direct my life. He spoke of being lonely and needing direction in his life, and found that writing the novel met this need. Life of Pi is told from 2 alternating points of view, the main character Pi in a flashback and Yann Martel himself, who is the visiting writer interviewing Pi many years after the cat in the boat story. This technique of the intrusive narrator adds the documentary realism to the book, setting up, like a musical counterpoint, the myth-making, unreliable narrator Pi. The reader is left to ponder at the end whether Pi's stories is an allegory of another set of parallel events or vice versa. In 2010, Barack Obama wrote a letter directly to Martel describing Life of Pi as an elegant proof of God and the power of storytelling. There are several things about Yann Martel's Life of Pi that suggests it couldn't be realized on screen. It's largely set on a small boat adrift the ocean, inhabited only by a young man and a tiger. It requires a tiger that will follow direction and a way of making bobbing about in water interesting for close to 2 hours, with only one person speaking. Actually, what it needs is Ang Lee, who makes this enormously complicated film look like the simplest thing in the world. The film had its worldwide premiere as the opening film of the 50th New York Film Festival on September 28, 2012. Life of Pi emerged as a critical and commercial success, earning over $609 million worldwide. It was nominated for 3 Golden Globe Awards. At the 85th Academy Awards, it had 11 nominations, including Best Picture, and won 4, the most for the evening, including Best Director for Ang Lee. Yann Martel found the film to be a delightful adaptation, saying, "I am happy it worked so well as a film, even if the ending is not as ambiguous as the books. The possibility that there might be another version of Pi's story comes at you unexpectedly and raises the same important questions about truth, perception, and belief." Lee, working for the first time in 3D, and cinematographer Claudio Miranda have crafted probably the most beautiful film of the year, from the lush opening credits to the multiple eye-popping moments on the water. An overhead shot of bioluminescent jellyfish at night, to name one. The visuals match the fabulous nature of the story. The mixture of real animals and their digital corollaries is very nearly seamless, and the tiger's performance almost makes you wish there was an Oscar category for animal wrangling. Life of Pi exists on the bleeding edge of technology, and every penny of its budget is on screen. Yet it isn't a film from which you're likely to take memories of a single money shot or sequence. There's too much going on to separate isolated moments. It's all impressive pieces in a unified puzzle. This is a director laying out both the world around us and the possibilities of cinema to present it, and asking, "Isn't this amazing?"